Oftentimes, the truth you're told is the lie, but the real evidence is located beyond the lie, and it's within the lies where the truth resides. Welcome, everybody. This is Nathan Daley. I'm your law enforcement translator, your 13-year law enforcement veteran, here to give you guys insight on all things law enforcement. Some say law enforcement counselor, some say law enforcement whisperer. Honestly, you guys, I like all those titles. I think they're very befitting. Now listen, I wanted to make a quick video in reference to the prosecution team on the Ahmaud Arbery case. As you guys know, they did a phenomenal job. And for those, real quick, I want to give a happy Thanksgiving to you guys. I hope you guys had a great time with the family. I did as well. I wanted to do this video yesterday, but boy, I ate too good. I had too much food. Also, quick shout out to my subscribers, my new subscribers. A lot of you guys came from the Lead Attorneys channel. Thank you so much. Welcome to this family, you guys. We are a unique group of people over here. Why? Because we're about truth. We're about transparency. We're about honesty. We're about accountability. And we are not afraid to hold people accountable. And sometimes the truth can be uncomfortable. And we're aware of that. But I think the reality is that we're willing to sit down and listen. We're willing to be patient. Why? Because the bigger picture, you guys, we want things to work. We want things to be better. For those who are new, welcome to this channel. Make yourself at home. Feel free to express. Feel free to speak your mind. All I ask is that we all be respectful and enjoy this time of learning. And I'm learning as well. There's a couple things, I'm correcting as well as I go. You guys, I'm new to YouTube. And my channel is growing really fast, and it was unexpected, but I'm loving it and I'm embracing it. A lot of great things coming in this channel. So I'm excited for you guys as well. We have a membership feature that's going to be activated. So please check that out in the community tab. Would love to have you guys join as members. You will be considered my investigators. So I will have 3 levels to the membership. It's investigators, lead investigators, and chief investigators. Please check that video out. I'll put a link here and a link in the description section for those who want to join. Would love to have you. Exclusive content and exclusive access. Because as this channel grows, it becomes a little bit more difficult to keep up. Now, I want to talk about the prosecution team and how much of an amazing job they did. Everybody is praising them. Phenomenal. The 3 main prosecutors did an amazing job. Linda, Larissa, Paul. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Out of Cobb County DA's office. My neighbors, they're right down the street. Gotta love the professionalism. Gotta love it. So what they say, they gave some backstory, some insight. I want to share this with you guys so you can kind of see what is next for the McMichaels and William Rodney Bryant. Let's take a look.
So there seem to be a lot of distractions from the defense. You had the black pastors comment, you had the dirty toenails comment, you had a lot of motions for mistrial, striking almost all of the black jurors. What did you think of all of that, and was any of it surprising to you?
No, the defense has a job to do. And one of the things that they want to do is throw our team off its game. That is why there are motions for mistrial. That is why they make some of the arguments that they make that may be offensive or unnecessary to be made, but they are just doing their job.
The video, the one taken by the...
I love how she immediately went in to say, hey, we were expecting this. We were expecting all these types of maneuvers and behaviors the defense brought. How despicable a lot of those things that they said and things that they did. They pulled all the stops out in order to try to get their clients free, and they didn't work. And it also shows that how remaining classy, how remaining professional and practicing these things always trumps people who are going to stoop low and going to use cheap shots, racially motivated or racially insensitive statements to try and win over jurors. I think they did an amazing job. They also talked about the sentencing. What can be expected? A lot of people are nervous about that. Hey, can they appeal? What's the likelihood that they'll get 5 years in prison versus what the actual state sentencing is required? Listen to Paul as he really breaks down the sentencing structure and what you can expect and what we can look forward to in regards to sentencing next year for the McMichaels and William Roddy Bryant.
And do you know how much potential time could they get here? They're not going to be out on the street 5 years or anything like that.
So in the state of Georgia, if you are convicted of murder or felony murder, it is an automatic life sentence. The judge has no discretion except to give you a life with the possibility sentence. So both Travis McMichael and Greg McMichael are looking at a minimum sentence of life with the possibility of parole. However, because of the other charges in the indictment, they're actually looking at a potential sentence of life without the possibility of parole plus 35 years. Now, for Mr. Bryan, he is looking at a potential life with the possibility of parole sentence as the minimum, but also a maximum sentence of life without the possibility of parole plus 15 years.
And I'll add something to that. In Georgia, the life sentence is a minimum of 30 years before you're eligible. So as far as them getting out in 5 years, no, as a law stands right now, they're going to be doing at least 30 years before they're eligible if they, once the judge does hand down that sentence.
And by eligible, he means eligible for parole.
Eligible for parole.
Perfect. And I wanted to talk about something. You and the
Boy, Linda is amazing, isn't she? She's just so poised. Just so much class, so much, even in her approach, everything's just so dignified. One of the things about this is she is and the entire team is a great reflection on what we need to see throughout the criminal justice system, right? Like seeing their level of, one, their education, how well versed they were in the law, their attentiveness, their attention to details. Not only that, their passion. They want to serve, right? You could see it in them. You see it. They want to do the job for the right reasons. This is what we're missing in the criminal justice system. It's what we're missing in law enforcement. When people are claiming they have issues with people who work in the system, it's because we don't have enough people who are professionals, right? They lack that professionalism. They lack that love and that sincere desire to help others. That's what you need to have to be a servant. You can't be a servant and not be willing to serve. What does that mean? You have to almost in a way love the person you're serving more or just as much as you love yourself. Why? Because it's about sacrifice. This is a call to do something greater than you. And you can't do it with a selfish heart.
The development of the case, you're always thinking closing. It's ABC, always be closing. And as a team, we strategized together about how to give the best closing argument possible. That wasn't just me up there speaking. That was the entire team, because everybody helped. We had an entire brainstorming session before we ever gave that closing argument about what we needed to communicate to those jurors so that they would get the right evidence and the truth of the case.
And you also kind of developed a cult following yourself online a little bit.
I have been so focused on this case, I have no idea.
Well, you might have an idea after you leave here today. Is there anything else that you want to make sure that the community, a community that is hurting?
So I love how Linda talks about her team, and she just congratulates. She's constantly highlighting them and saying, "Hey, listen, this was a team effort. What you saw me do in that closing argument wasn't me. This was a collective work all night. Decide, hey, closing. How can we make the most impactful closing argument?" We heard the passion of not just her, but Larissa and Paul. She was just the voice for their hard work, a voice for their passion, a voice for their conviction. I know it was emotional, like it was emotional for you guys, and just watching the judge give out that guilty verdict, it sent chills.
Perfect. So race was a topic the defense didn't really want to touch, and it was something that the defense really never wanted or said never played a part in this trial. So with Georgia passing the hate crimes bill, and with overturning citizens' arrest, and with the convictions today, all of that combined, what message do you think that sends not only to the community as a whole, but to the Black community and to the Southern community?
Well, definitely don't take the law into your own hands. That was a big thing. And trust the system, trust the process. And my hope is that this case and this verdict helped restore some faith in the criminal justice system, especially for some people who may have lost that.
I think Larissa brought up a beautiful point, but at the same time, there's still so much work to be done, right? She says, what do you want us to get out of this? What do you want people to feel? How should the Black community feel about this verdict? She said she hopes that it has worked towards rebuilding that trust, that the system does work, that we can trust the process, and that people shouldn't take the law in their own hands, which I agree 100%. But do we trust the process? Why don't we trust the process? There's a lot of racial disparities that need to be addressed, and she knows that, we know that. But Larissa makes a good point, and she's a good example. Why? On the lead attorney's channel, when we're talking, I did the collaboration with them. One of the things that I kept really bringing up and pushing even now to this point, is that African Americans are only 5% of all the attorneys that practice law in this country, according to the American Bar Association. Larissa is a woman of color. I don't know her nationality, I don't know her ethnicity, but we know she is of brown skin variety, right? So the idea is that we are absent in these areas where we need to be to really impact and affect change. Same thing in law enforcement, you guys. We're missing. We cannot ignore these areas. We need to be present in these areas. 12% African Americans. 12% of African Americans are law enforcement officers out of the entire 700,000. That's small. It's small. I would also piggyback on what Larissa is saying, is that yes, the system does work when we have the right people in it, right? That's the issue. It works when we have the right people in it. And what they displayed is a very strong example of what we want to duplicate in this criminal justice system, all throughout. We can even say all throughout forms of government. We need people with integrity. We need people who are willing to look past themselves, people who don't operate with a selfish mindset, someone who's not swayed by money, swayed by things, one that doesn't have a love for materialistic stuff, right? Like, we need people who have integrity. We need people who can be trusted. We need people who have pride in what they do. We need people who love everyone equally and does not judge or show prejudice. And you would think that sounds silly to say, since this is the criminal justice system, but there's a lot of prejudice going on. But it's not everybody. It's not everybody. How do we get those who shouldn't be there out? So this is just a quick video, you guys. I just wanted to highlight them and really honor them for such a fantastic job and helping to restore some faith. But there's much work to do. There's much work to do. Anyways, you guys, thank you. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out the membership page. Let me know what you think. We'd love to have you guys as investigators. We'd love to have you guys going to the next level. Thank you again. Stay tuned. Live streams are coming. Good night and God bless.
Is it surprising to you that the defense almost came across as if Ahmaud Arbery deserved it?
Not at all. That is criminal defense 101. Blame the victim. Make it seem like the victim is the one at fault who started the whole thing. And we were not surprised at all that they went there because it's standard strategy. Now, of course, we feel it failed miserably because everyone knows that Ahmaud Arbery did not start this.